Hello, BookTube. If you watched my last video, you know that I was gonna go secondhand shopping for books and get rid of those books I said I was going to, and I did. And let me just say, getting rid of books are amazing. Like I feel so clean. Like I literally took froze all of them together, like two like massive plastic bags, and I walked to my op shop. I got rid of them and I did pick up some. So this book haul is going to be, I got one book there, which I is on the very bottom of the pile. The rest of these I've just collected over the last 2 weeks, and we're gonna. There's a lot here. There's like 15 or whatever. But before we get into that, I did find a CD. I fought very hard, and this is I got Kylie's album Light Years. This has iconic bops like Spinning Around, On a Night Like This, Your Disco Needs You, and the title track Light Years, Disco Down, iconic. I was scarred. No, I was scarred because of a recent experience I had trying to get Kylie CDs. And I was excited I got this one because when I last went to our op shop, they had three of her albums on CD, and I don't like a lot of Kylie's albums. I'll just get, my favorites from her and I'm happy. I don't need all 17. But I had a handful and I wanted them, but I didn't have enough money. So, when you just hide stuff in an op shop. And so I thought I hid them very well. And I came back um, and they were gone. And I was emotionally not okay. And I accepted that. But I did find just in this shelves or whatever, I did find Light Years. And so I've recovered. I at least have one. But yeah, I'm happy we have that. But I just thought I'd tell you that. So anyway, let's get to the books. We've got a couple of kids' books in here, and I've been really in a kids' book mood. I know I've been talking about I want to get like the Ronald Dahl like collection of kids' books, but I just haven't done that yet because I found a new obsession, which we'll get to later. Um, the first book we have is When We Were Young by A. Milne. This is a verse collection. This was the same person and illustrator in here. Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, you can Google it. He wrote Winnie the Pooh, and this is a lovely verse collection that I found, and I love it so much. It's so cute, and it's a nice hardcover, and I'll happily read it when I get the chance. Another kid's book I recently found, and I'm surprised I never owned this one, and I never read this one growing up, and I feel like I need to do it. And that's The Velveteen Rabbit by, I can't remember who it's by, Marjorie Williams. And this has the original art in it, and it's very pretty. I know vaguely what it's about, but I will happily read it soon and be emotionally distraught and destroyed, but hopefully I'll love it. And then we have some Queen Georgia Hare books. I haven't read any of these, but yeah, we have Friday's Child, The Founding, and then we have the one that looks, out of all three, the one looks like it'd be one that I'd like, The Reluctant Widow. And so these are my last three Georgia Hayes I have. I have a lot now. I'm well into having over 20 of her romances, and I just want to keep it going. I love Georgia Hare. She's the queen, one of the queens of his channel. If you haven't read Georgia Hare, please do, because we love Georgia Hare. And then a lovely book I found, and I read this when I was in high school, and I never thought I'd own a copy, so I'm excited that I found it. It was like literally cheap online, and I took the bullet, and it's Anno Dracula. I again read this as a teen. I do want to reread it, and I'm gonna have a ball hopefully when I get to it because I remember loving Anno Dracula. And then we got a poetry collection. We got Henry Lawson, his poems. I know I just got unhold him yesterday because I unhold a short story collection, but this is his poetry, and I don't own any of his poetry, so hint hint, maybe he'll be one of my next authors I read in terms of Poetry Thursdays, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I have that to read through, and I can't wait because Henry Lawson's lovely. Okay, next. Um, in the last like 2 weeks, I've been obsessed with Alexander Dumas. I I've reread bits of Account. I love Account. I've read it twice, and I love it so much. And I brought because I have an old beat up copy of the Three Musketeers, and I was like, I just feel like I want one with an introduction. Like you don't really need it for Musketeers, but I thought to get some more historical context and probably, to be honest, just to match the count, I did pick up the Penguin Black Spine of the Three Musketeers, and I can't wait. I want to reread it soon. I probably haven't again since I was younger. But yeah, I hope I still love it because I invested in all of their sequels. I only have two of them right now because you have the Three Musketeers, you have 20 years after, then you have after that 10 years after, but 10 years after, Penguin don't do those ones, or 20 years after, but for 10 years after, it's split into 3 volumes by Oxford, and I have, how many do I have right now? Oh, I've already forgot. I've got one of them. I'll show you, but I just brought the middle two anyway. I'll show you before I move on. I brought 20 years after. These, I did have a flip through these, and I also got The Man in the Iron Mask. Did flick through these. These are an older translation. I don't know when they were recently last translated, and I know I just thought, oh my god, when were they? Because you always hear about, again, Dumas is always, the Count and Three Musketeers is everywhere, but you think they do the rest of the Musketeer books, and I haven't read any of them, but I hope they're just as fun, lovely adventure novels, and so hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I get to finish owning the sequels, and then I'll do a nice big long read through of them, and I will feel happier about that. So, and then we got more Dumas. We got The Black Tulip, very short. I don't know what it's about. I know it's based on like murders that happened. I don't know. That's really all I know. It's probably like a farm-based story. Anyway, I love Dumas, so hopefully I'll like this too. And then I got something from his son, because I know Dumas's son wrote a lot, and I can't even say the name of it because they didn't translate the title, but this is it here. I don't even know how to say it. I know, but yeah, this is written by his son. I know it's well loved, this book, and I'll give it a try. See what I think of it. Okay, back to kids' books. We have The Complete Nonsense Books by Edward Lear. I've never read Edward Lear. I've had a flip through this over the last couple days. It seems really lovely, and I could be a bit cheeky and say this for Victoria because I feel like that'd be such an underdog pick, because when we think of the Victorians, you don't really think of the children's books from that time period as much. You do like the main novelists and such, but I feel like this would be a lovely thing to read through like a month, because it's very lovely from what I've read of it. And anyway, I've got 2 more, but one I'll save to the very end because I'm so excited for it. But the book that I got at my op shop today is The Way of All Flesh by Samuel Butler. I only know Samuel Butler because he done the first prose translations of Homer, and I love his translation of Homer. It's like probably the only prose version of Homer that I genuinely really loved. Like it's the only one I've read through, but I did have had samples of other prose translations, and it's the only one that's really clicked for me. And I assumed that he was a writer himself, but I did find this. Tell me about it in the comments below, and I'll probably get to it maybe one day soon. And so, the last book we have, because you know how I love my Julian of Norwich's, my queen the creature herself, inventor of traveling, Marjorie Kemp. There may be someone else to add to that tier list of lovely women from the medieval ages. And I saw this and I literally um, screamed, cried, threw up. And it's iconic. I've been so excited. I need to sit down and read it, and I want to soon. I've read the introduction and the blurb, and I hope she's as good as it's hinting at, and that's the life of Christina of Marcates, and oh my god, I love her so much. She had visions of Jesus when she was a child. She literally is all about protecting her virginity. Like, that's so relatable, and I feel like if I was um if I lived in the Middle Ages, I feel like I would have been very much like her. But it's only like 88 pages, and I can't wait to make a video to read it. Sorry, and like this is literally one of the greatest things in my life right now, and I just love delusional, women from the Middle Ages that loved Jesus. So that is my last book I've got for you today. And so yeah, that was a quick haul. Let me know if any of the books I've showed you today. What do you think of them? Is there anything I should know going into them? And yeah, this was such a fun video to film. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I'll see you next time.